Damn, Melissa. Damn, Melissa. Damn, Melissa.
Welcome back to another episode of Lukaholics. I got my boy Mike G in the building, man. We haven't been on here in a while. We took a small break, but we are back, man. We about to give you guys full-on playoff action. Click subscribe to us, Lukaholics podcast. Marqus, Mike G, we back in the building, man. What's good, bro? How you been, bro?
Marcus, my man, I am living the dream right now. We got over the hump. We got that first round exit monkey off our backs. It's been a long 11 years. But Luka decided to turn it up. We finally are in the second round of the playoffs. How you doing?
Let me tell you, my heart is still, honestly, this is my soul talking to you right now. I'm not here because my heart is still on that last shot that he missed, that Bogan missed, bro. Like that, I'm talking about when he pumped fake and Spencer flew past him, and I was like, I do not want to go to game 7. I just don't, because it just gives me all types of extra vibes, man. I'm like, no, we can't go to game 7. We got to get it here tonight. We got to win. We got to be done with them. What you think?
Couldn't agree more. Like you said, that last shot by Bogdanovich, it took 15 seconds to come down. And when it finally missed, I was at a bar here in Salt Lake City, wearing my Mavs gear, screaming my head off. A bunch of Jazz fans were just looking at me ready to beat the living crap out of me. But I didn't care. I was like, you know what? We're moving on. Y'all are staying home.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Phoenix. But it's just, like you said, man, Jalen just took over the series. He just said, no, we're not going down like this. After Luka went out, it's like, no, we're not going to lose opportunity now. This is our time.
I honestly knew after game 4, even with that loss, I said it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. They're not going to be able to deal with Luka. Like, that's his first game back, and y'all, I mean, when I tell you luck of the draw, like the White Powell misses 2 free throws, come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I was at that game, and I was just sitting right behind the Mavericks bench, and when Luka hit that dagger 3, I was like, it's done. We're up 3-1, we're going back home. And then all of a sudden, Donovan gets a lucky break on a rebound, gets an and one. When that arena's rocking, you can't hear yourself think. You can't even hear your own thoughts, let alone 10 feet away from you. So the home crowd helped the Jazz win game 4.
Mm-hmm. And shouts out to Royce O'Neal, because he played horrible. And I was enjoying every bit of it. Like, yes, let him shoot, because he could not make a shot. If he couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat. So I was just loving
it. I like to thank Royce O'Neal, but I like to really think the real MVP for the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Mike Conley put up a goose egg in game 2. He averaged 9 points a game for the series. He comes up with a big choke travel at the end of game 6.
Man, I want to get into the growth of what you see with Jalen. And not necessarily Reggie, because Reggie came over here this year, but just someone we've been watching since he came from the University of Florida, Dodo, and just how he's elevated his game.
But what I really saw this year is right after New Year's is when we went on our run, and Jalen really started to pick up the slack, because Luka missed the 10 games end of December into early January. And I saw Jalen actually play here on Christmas Day in Salt Lake. he put up 29 points against Utah, and we lost by 4 when we had 10-day contracts on the team when everyone had COVID, including probably Luka's mom probably had COVID. I mean, he actually took over Luka's role, became that playmaker, and became that number one option, and that's what he did in the playoffs. He said, "No Luka, no problem."
One thing about Spencer Dinwiddie, I urge him to go to the gym. And yes, he is a former All-Star, so I can't say too much to him, right? But I will urge him somewhere to go to the gym and find a spot where he can consistently score, like the Rip Hamiltons of the world and the Chris Pauls of the world, where they have certain spots on the floor where if they get to that spot, it's a wrap. And I guess I know he's a good shooter, but he gives me sometimes that Tim Hardaway vibe, where he's jacking up shots, and it's like, man, like, because just the way he shoots, it, like I said, it kind of that Tim Hardaway / YMCA type of energy that I see him come out and just kind of like just play. I don't think he has a set play that they run with him. It's more because I see him dribble, back up and shoot the three. Or he's kind of like going toward the basket, trying to get into a play. But honestly, I love Dinwiddie, man. But I haven't too much seen anything from him until Game 6, and since then, I haven't seen anything from him since that Brooklyn game winner.
He was definitely there. He made some impacts that maybe don't show up on the stat sheets all the way through, because I see him as a combination of Luka and Jalen, and I'll tell you why. He has the driving ability, Jalen, where he's a little bit faster. He plays that faster downhill driving game like Jalen does, and that floater game but he can step back and create space like Luka does. So I see him as a combination of the two, and he didn't have a necessary bad series. I would say he had a great series, but he had 19 in game 1, he put up 20 in game 3, 19 in game 6. So he was averaging a steady 15 points a game, I would say, for the entire series, coming off the bench.
It's just, I guess to me, it just doesn't, like, yes, I see it, but it don't, because the shots that I see him miss and make, I guess I'm looking at every single play. And
right. But he only had 2 games, I would say, that he took over in the fourth quarter. That was game 3 and game 6.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 games he took over in the fourth, which really people look at. It's like, okay, he's going to close out the game versus he'll get his 18 points, but all in the first, half into the third quarter, and then nothing in the fourth. So that's what people think about. Oh, he didn't have a great series. I say he contributes in other ways. He, especially against Utah, Luka and Spencer all were getting Rudy to get out of the paint,
right.
drive and kick, and force him out on the switches. So they all did their job in getting Rudy out of the paint.
Keys of beating the Suns. What are the keys, man? Like, what do we have to stay consistent on? What do we have to do? Who we got to pretty much lock on to?
Devin Booker doesn't play, or he's limited. You may see Mavs winning in 6 with consistent play, and the Booker's going to get his. I have no doubt Booker's going to get his. We can't let Chris Paul go 14 for 14 like he did against New Orleans. You can't say the 3 games that we played against the Suns in the regular season count for anything, because
they don't.
2 were without Luka, and all 3 were before the Dinwiddie trade.
They haven't seen us. They haven't seen us who we are now. So, like I said, I think roster wise, on paper, I don't know. On paper, it's an even matchup, man. To me, it's a really even matchup on paper.
Yeah, but they got better defenders. I mean, they got Micheal Bridges, who's one of the most elite defenders in the game. They got Jay Crowder, who's just a dog. He's like our Finney Smith. They got Cam Johnson, who's lights out from that corner 3. Of course, Book and CP3 are going to be, and then Ayton's a more athletic version of Gobert. So we have our hands full for sure. But I think the Mavericks need to do is They need to hit their threes, open threes especially when they're there. And Luka just needs to be smart, and he needs to put up the numbers he was putting up against the Clippers last year. My X factor, our center position, Powell and Kleba, that rotation. How is that going to look offensively and defensively against Ayton? That's going to be the difference for the Mavericks winning this series or losing this series, is the center position, because Luka's going to get his. Jalen will have some good games. We might hit some shots, but what will our centers do offensively and defensively? So that's my X factor for the Mavs to win this series, is the center position.
Not saying that we're going to go in there with the same type of strategy that we had with Utah, getting out the paint. I think we're going to use it. We're going to try it. We're going to slide it in there here and there, because you can't go away from it. Like, it worked. It worked. So you test out Ayton on that for a little bit, kind of see how he's moving around, see if that's going to disrupt his game. I think we're going to see Marquise.
Really?
I think we're going to see Marquise in the second round, just because we didn't have to use Marquise. Like, Rudy wasn't trying to dominate the paint, So that takes a lot of they didn't need him, because Maxey nor Powell really got in foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to understand foul trouble now. And Maxey and Powell just might get into a little bit of situation down there. What would you give the grade of Jason Kidd, man? First year over here, what grade would you give him based on how everything was when we were at Carlisle, and his playbook, what would you say Jason Kidd has done grade wise with us?
I was thinking about that the other day, like giving him a rating. I would give him. It's hard to give him like a grade, because there's so many, like, B plus, A minus, A, like, because there's like big difference. I would say out of 10, I would give him a solid 8 out of 10 for how he did this year, because what he did defensively, and I'm even borderline 9 out of 10, but I'll say 8 out of 10, and I'll go over the reasons in a second why it's just an 8 out of 10 versus like a 9 or a 10. The defense that he implied on this team is 10 times better than Carlisle ever did, even in the championship year. Like, just the mentality that he put on defense to lock down superstars. Because back in the day, we would win games, but the superstar would still go off. We're going in games where we're shutting down superstars. Look at what the Jazz did. We held Donovan Mitchell to a game where he had 9 points, where he's averaging 28 to 30 points a game. We double teamed Kevin Durant in the Brooklyn game, and we hold him to 20 points on 4-20 shooting, or whatever the number was. That's the kind of thing. And Dorian Finney-Smith he stepped up in the defensive role, but what Jason Kidd, even in Luka, he turned Luka Doncic into a real defender in this league. Not a great defender, but an average defender.
Thank you guys again for watching another episode of Lukaholics. It's your boy Marcus E. Oh boy Mike G, man. Thank you guys so much, man. Like, subscribe. You already know what it is. Leave a comment below. Game 1 tonight, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Mavs. Peace.